Welcome back, everybody, and we just watched Star Wars. What did we watch? Star Wars Kenobi, Episode 3 or Part 3, what they're calling it, and it was something. It was something. We got a lot of thoughts on this bad boy. Let's get into it. We got I don't know, Ryder, what'd you think?
Well, off the bat, I think this was one of the most shocking episodes. It was very unexpected, and it was something that I can't believe they did so early. With of course, the finale, they were fighting with Vader. You know what I mean? It was Obi-Wan versus Vader, and we got a lot of scenes with Anakin, and we got a lot of touching moments that I think really diving into the mentality of Obi-Wan, right, when how he's feeling. And yeah, you said it was great because it kind of compares to some other scenes with some of the other Star Wars films, right? What were you getting at? What were you trying to get at with that
I
mentality
just think
thing?
there's a lot of parallels. Remember, we talked last week about how I thought there was a lot of parallels to the first two episodes to The Last Jedi of Luke kind of not being in his force power anymore and I don't know, cutting himself off from all that. And we see
Mhm.
Obi-Wan's in the same exact boat that Luke went into. And now he has someone relying on, or like in Obi-Wan, Leia is relying on Obi-Wan, and in The Last Jedi, it was Rey relying on Luke, and it's
Mm,
that kind of thing. Is that relationship of like the younger person is like pulling them back to the Force again, which is really cool.
yeah.
I
Mhm.
know like people can have their disagreements with Last Jedi, whatever. It's just I think Star Wars is all about those parallels with different people, different storylines, and all that kind of stuff, and that really hit for me in this episode for sure.
Absolutely. James, what do you think? What were some highlight moments for you?
I think it's just really interesting for me to see Obi-Wan navigate his trauma as someone who is forced to disassociate from identity as a Jedi in order to survive. And like you said, Vincent, it's that younger person as Leia who's kind of forcing him to reassociate not only with like the Force but with an identity like as a Jedi and someone who's been forced to like in the first episode, the Grand Inquisitor talks about like compassion being the Jedi way and the Jedi Order is kind of like this plague, and it's something that Jedi are compelled to do, right? And so
Mhm.
for Obi-Wan, he's had to suppress all of that and disassociate in order to just survive in this world. And that's why he's been able to survive for so long up until this point. So I think it's really interesting to me to see how he sort of like you see moments where you think he might jump back into that like compassion, where you see it
Mhm.
and he
Yeah,
wants to step out into that street in this episode and like help those people. And you see it in his
yeah,
eyes, but he doesn't. You see him, he goes outside, he says, like, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go distract these people. And you think he's gonna go make a grand scene in order to save the people in the street, but he doesn't. He
runs
looks like he's
away.
about to, but then at the very last second, when you think he'll disrupt something or Vader will catch him, he'll run away to the desert.
Yeah,
Mhm.
And that's always really interesting for me to see.
and
Absolutely.
what a scene where Vader's walking down right there, killing literally just killing
Yeah.
people. Like, that
Absolutely.
was dark, so dark.
hmm
Yeah, I think it
Well, I
goes
think
to the brutality of it. He was almost. It seems like since he sensed Obi-Wan, I feel like I don't know from y'all guys. They both sensed each other, right? They had that mutual sensing, right? And
I would
Darth
say.
Vader was almost kind of showing Obi-Wan, like, look at what you've made me. Look at how brutal I am. Look at
Yep,
like
mhm,
I do not care for anybody. I'll kill anybody. I mean, children, right? There was a kid he took out, right?
yep,
So that was
mhm,
crazy.
I
yeah,
think
What'd you have,
a
James?
crazier moment, I mean, not crazy in terms of like raw, like visceral spectacle, but for me, the moment that made me go, oh, weird, or like, whoa, was when Darth Vader confronted Obi-Wan in the desert for the first time.
Hmm.
And I
yeah.
thought we were getting I don't know about you boys, but I thought we were getting a fight right then and there.
I w
Because Obi-Wan pulls out the lightsaber and I think he's going to ignite it. But at the last second, I think this goes to show like who Obi-Wan is right now
Hmm.
is he doesn't choose to ignite it. He runs and he
yeah,
runs and he runs and he like waits until he's backed into a corner and he
mhm,
sees it's necessary that he has to like fight and defend himself against Vader in order to
yeah,
survive.
right.
Absolutely.
And even then, he still wouldn't have if it wasn't for Homegirl who
Hmm.
And
creates a distraction.
I don't know, I was kinda looking forward to the moment that Obi-Wan ignited his lightsaber, like, as an
Yeah,
epic moment,
Yeah.
but I almost liked it in this that it wasn't an epic moment. It's
I
like, I
agree.
have to, like, I
Exactly.
have to. I don't have a choice
Yeah,
here.
Mhm.
exactly. It wasn't a hero thing. It was I need to survive and I need to kind of figure out what's going on. A big moment that I want to point out is Vader's capabilities as a human and how it kind of goes to show how broken he is because he can't run after Obi-Wan. He literally has to walk because of
Yeah.
how broken he is. That suit keeps him alive, right? He's literally, using a one-handed, like, yeah, he's probably holding back with it when it comes to his fighting skills, because we've seen him in Rogue One, how brutal and how kind of well
Yeah.
versed he is as a tough Vader. But in this, it seems like he's only going one-handed. He's barely
But it
giving it
seems like
his
he was going
all.
one-handed because he's so strong.
Yeah,
Obi-Wan has to use both hands, like,
exactly
to
that too.
defend,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
he's, like,
It's
beating
just
on him.
Same
yeah,
thing
Vader's
that
on
That
yeah,
is
yeah,
the same thing
it
that Luke does to
exactly.
Vader in Episode 6.
Hmm.
Vader's on the
pretty
one knee
cool.
like that, and Luke
Great
is hitting
mirror.
with one arm just like that.
Oh, it's pretty fucking
Absolutely.
cool.
Pretty awesome.
Um,
Yeah.
Another big thing that I wanted to talk about, and maybe y'all agree, is that this feels like this is only chapter one of their fight. That they're going to probably return in the end to have more of an actual duel and kind of duke
Yeah.
it out. And maybe
But
Obi-Wan
at the
tries
end
to
of the
come in with
day
the
but at
what's
the
up.
end of the day, a duel's not gonna it's still gonna be inconclusive because of
Yeah, because we know what
or
happens. Yeah.
See,
conclusively not fatal for either
Mhm.
because of
this is the interesting part of the show to me, is because we know the fates of every character in this, except
Mhm.
Reva, maybe.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
Like, we know the Grand Inquisitor survives. He's in Rebels. You know what I mean? We know, or survives, or it's a different iteration of him. I don't really know. I don't understand how they're gonna play that out, but whatever.
Yeah.
Um, Obi-Wan, we know he dies by Vader in Episode 4, like years
Mhm.
later.
Yep.
So we know he's gonna be okay through the show. We know Leia's plan through the show. We know Vader's plan through the show. But this is still tense. They're still making it like very intense
Yeah.
in each situation. Like I was like, oh my god, like Obi and Leia, they're gonna get found out here, and it's like not gonna be good for them. Like, and I was
Right.
like in there the
A
whole
lot of good
time.
tension.
Yeah.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
lot of great tension. I thought, okay, I did. I first I was like, oh my god, I can't believe we're already getting this confrontation with like Vader and Obi Wan. I feel like
Mhm.
they were gonna build to that the whole time, but no, you guys, this to me is the first Disney Plus show where we're actually like getting somewhere. We're 3 episodes in. I feel like I've had a storyline already
Yep.
Yeah.
instead of like
I
Yeah.
agree.
waiting for the final act of one of these 6 episode shows to like surprise me. I feel like this is this is going a direction. It
It's
has a
moving.
plan, a
Yeah.
path here, which is so fresh. It
Yeah.
shouldn't
Yeah.
be
It's
fresh,
very
but
fresh.
it's
It shouldn't
fresh.
And like you were saying, it's also exciting because we know what happens to see what angle is Obi-Wan going to go on, let's say, the
Yeah.
final confrontation for the show, at least for this section, chapter in their lives. Is he going to try to, kind of appeal to Vader and Anakin and again try? Because we see how he was in episode 4, where he was just like, I'm accepting my death. I'm like, there's no more like Anakin. I'm not trying to, I'm protecting Luke. But what's the what's the angle here for what he wants to try next,
I don't think that the point of the show, like, I think this next episode is going to pivot a little bit to where
Yeah.
less of Darth Vader's the bad guy, because they kind of leave, they kind of like separate at the end
Hmm.
of this episode a little bit. And now Reva has Leia,
Hmm.
which I really believe that Reva is the main antagonist in this, and the
Yeah.
next couple episodes will just be Obi and Reva. I'm sure there will be another Darth Vader confrontation, but I'm okay if it's not the main thing. Like, I don't need to see them fight. Like, this was great. I would love to see another scene where it's like maybe a little more choreographed. Like Obi-Wan's actually trying to fight Vader. Sure, like that would be cool. Like the Star Wars in me wants it, but I don't need it for the story. Like, I want to see why Reva is so mad at Obi-Wan, and
Right.
like that to me is the interesting part of the show.
I think
Absolutely.
that's gonna be the central conflict of the show. Like as much as so you have the Vader Obi-Wan conflict kind of like grand scheme, and it's gonna be like between Anakin, who is Darth Vader, like kind of wanting recompense for what Obi-Wan did to him, but also I think it's gonna be like I think the central conflict is gonna be between Reva and Obi-Wan.
Yeah,
And I think it'll be the definitive like showdown of the
right.
series.
That will be the showdown. Yes,
And
I
Reva
agree.
almost parallels to like Anakin in a way, or to any really a Jedi that's so ambitious, right, and wants more and will overthrow the authority to get what they want, So I think
Very
it's
Mhm.
common Star Wars theme
yeah,
right there too.
Very
yeah,
common Star
Sith
Wars theme.
themes.
A couple just
Um,
quick things I want to point out too. We have the Jedi Padawan helmets in the Inquisitor room. Thought that was very cool. I like the butting heads of Reva versus the guy that plays Han from Fast and Furious, that
Oh
Inquisitor.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and then I loved Leia has pinup braids in the show, and in this
Mm.
episode, one of them falls down just like Padawan, her father Anakin, has the one braid down.
Oh,
So I like that
Oh,
too. That was
nice.
really really cool. Loved that.
um, something
Yeah.
I want to mention is there's a brief mention when Obi-Wan is looking at the wall, right, of all the scribblings
Hmm.
and writings, and he mentions a name of Quinlan.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
if you
Who's that?
know, Quinlan Voss is a Jedi from the same planet of Saw Gerrera. in
Mhm.
the sort of like Seven Samurai arc of the Clone Wars, and he's kind of this like rebellious. He knows Ahsoka very well, and so
Oh,
I like it.
Wow.
There's a
Yeah.
potential for a future
sure.
Quinlan Voss.
And it's
Um,
just cool to mention other Jedis that aren't like,
yeah,
I don't know,
Mhm.
mentioned. That's cool.
Yeah, and so
yeah.
for my last point would be this is why I believe Cal Kestis could make a cameo because I feel like the whole vibe of Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is
Why?
we need to find other Jedis, we need to look out in the galaxy.
Yeah.
That this kind of vibe of what they're promoting is like, hey, look, there are other Jedis out there. There's still kind of what's it called, like safe houses. There's still a safe
Yeah.
haven for them out there. That putting him in would make sense in the kind of I guess the themes of what they're trying to
Yeah.
at least that's what I'm getting the vibe is that there are Jedi's out there that are still trying to help each other.
Right.
Excuse me, and they're still trying to survive. You know, I think that's what kind
Yeah.
of Cal is doing with his group at this time. I feel like, but
Yeah.
we'll see.
We don't even know because the game
Yeah,
takes place.
yeah,
This is
that's
5
true.
years after the first game, so we don't know where he is at with the group and stuff.
Mhm.
So if they were like, I could see them doing it as just as much as I could see them not
Yeah,
putting
yeah,
him in the
I
show.
know.
I don't
Easily.
need him in the show, but it would be cool. It would be a cool
Yeah, yeah.
pop up for sure.
Mhm.
Um,
Um,
yeah, lots of
Uh,
cool stuff in this episode. Do you have any?
that's
No,
really
Yeah,
it for me. What do you got?
I have a follow up on Quinlan
Mhm.
Voss real quick.
Yeah.
Apparently, he turned to the dark side to follow Count Dooku. So by this time,
F.
Quinlan Voss, if he like is alive, he's probably an Inquisitor.
Wow.
If he's
Okay.
alive,
That's interesting.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
or maybe he's not. I don't know.
I
I
think
don't
it
know
goes
lore well
down.
enough.
Darth Vader is one of the most ruthless villains out there. He's still
We
on TV. We're getting him on TV, and he looks
we did
so
not
good.
talk about the fact that the biggest thing where
What's that?
Vader forces Obi-Wan into
Oh, yeah.
fire and makes him
Yeah,
Burn like
feel
he
what
did.
he
Your
felt.
pain
Yeah.
is just beginning. That was
Yeah, that was
crazy.
crazy. James
Yeah.
Earl Jones doing the voice of Darth Vader is awesome. Hayden
as
Christensen's
always.
basically not in this show. Like, I know he's in the suit right there, like in the
Mhm.
Vader suit doing his thing.
Well, he's in the suit like in the first
When he's
when I
suiting
think
up,
the
yeah.
Force is showing Obi-Wan,
Oh, yeah,
Anakin
yeah.
suiting up. Yeah, that's
Right.
Hayden
Mhm.
Christensen.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
suit up was crazy. I was like, this is like,
Great
man,
suit
what
up.
a
Love
great
a good
scene.
suit up scene.
It was cool.
But yeah, that's it.
Cannot wait, guys, for the rest of this show. Halfway and I'm
Yeah.
feeling good. I haven't been halfway through a Disney show plus and feeling good ever.
Yeah.
So at
No.
this point in Clone Wars, remember we had the worst arc in the Clone Wars season 7 with the sisters.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling great. For really, this is amazing.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's it. You guys all done?
All done.
Okay, well,
done.
if you guys want to check out more, we'll be covering every single episode here on the channel, and we got more reviews and breakdowns coming up for Summer Games Fest. If you guys want to check us out, be sure to check out those videos, and we'll see you guys on the next breakdown.